Apple TV Plus' Stick continues its surprising run with Episode 9, delivering an emotional, intense, and heartwarming mix of sports, drama, and relationships. This chapter is full of big moves on the golf course, personal dilemmas, unexpected kisses, and even a jaw-dropping reunion. The journey of a once-failed golfer and his unlikely bond with a prodigy starts to take shape in powerful ways during this Ready Safe Invitational, and by the end, it's clear that everything career, love, and friendship is on the line. The episode opens with some high-level golf commentary from real-life sports personalities Trevor Immelman and Jim Nantz as they introduce the Ready Safe Invitational, taking place at the Woody Crest Country Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. With Santi now officially in the tournament thanks to a hard-earned sponsorship exemption, the entire team, Mitz, Pryce, Elena, and Zero, is buzzing with excitement. They walk into the grand tournament venue full of hope, especially Santi, who is now rubbing shoulders with legends. When Santi signs in, he meets pro golfer Keegan Bradley and is genuinely awestruck. That moment kind of hits hard, showing how far he's come from hustling on mini-golf courses to now walking among PGA-level greats. Pryce, though often written off as a washed-up golfer, gets a surprising nod of respect from current stars like Wyndham Clark and Max Homa. It stuns Santi that Pryce actually has a respected past in the golfing world, something no one really expected. But not everyone is supportive. Enter Matt Prost, an arrogant and trash-talking player who immediately sets his sights on throwing Santi off his game. Matt starts with some backhanded compliments and snarky remarks about Santi's age and lack of experience. Despite that, Santi starts the tournament strong with an impressive first shot. Meanwhile, the commentators are bringing up Pryce's former career, giving him the respect he once had but lost over time. And while Santi is proving himself on the green, there's more going on off the course. Clark Ross, the wealthy, influential man who got Santi into the tournament, shows up and makes a surprising move. After being polite to Pryce and saying the past should be left in the past, Clark whisks Santi away for sponsor formalities. But things start to look a bit shady. Clark takes Santi to a high-end golf gear store where two gorgeous assistants, Amy and Wendy, fit him for custom golf outfits. Then there's a fancy sports car test ride. Then a dinner at an upscale restaurant. Clark is basically pulling out every trick in the rich guy handbook to impress Santi and try to lure him away from his team. Mitz and Pryce, waiting at the RV, see what's happening. Mitz is suspicious and warns Pryce that Clark might be trying to poach Santi with all this lavish attention. But Pryce says he trusts the boy, even though the situation is clearly uncomfortable. Clark finally gets to the point and tells Santi that he thinks Pryce isn't the best coach for him. He says Pryce takes shortcuts and doesn't know how to groom true champions. Clark argues that someone with his resources can offer Santi a bigger future in golf, hinting that Pryce is holding him back. Santi listens, but it's clear he's uncomfortable. He knows what's happening and isn't buying into the flashy lifestyle just yet. Back at the tournament on day 2, there's a happy surprise. Amber Lynn shows up to support Pryce. Her presence lights up his face, and you can tell there's still a strong bond between them, despite their past. But the drama continues. Matt Prost, again trying to psych Santi out, notices that the kid's outfit is way more polished than before, proof that Clark's influence is working its way in. The mind games start again, and this time it rattles Santi's confidence. Seeing his prodigy slipping, Pryce steps in with some risky coaching. He tells Santi to go for a shortcut move, hitting over the trees to try for a birdie. It's a bold suggestion and totally in line with what Clark criticized Pryce for earlier. But Pryce defends his approach, comparing good shortcuts to famous engineering marvels like the Panama Canal. He argues that sometimes shortcuts aren't lazy, they're just smart. Santi ends up taking the shot and it works beautifully. It's a big moment for both him and Pryce. The momentum picks up. Pryce tells Santi to play a particularly difficult shot on the 7th hole, something the commentators say is borderline insane. But Santi pulls it off, regaining his rhythm and even going viral as fans and social media users start cheering for this underdog hero. Santi becomes the breakout star of the tournament. During a press interview, Santi coolly credits his calm energy to listening to the song Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel, adding a nice touch of humor and humanity. Amber Lynn joins the team in celebrating, and things take a sweet turn as she shares some funny stories from Pryce and Mitz's past, teasing them like an old friend who's seen it all. At the RV, a smaller romance brews. Zero teases Mitz about his feelings for Elena, pushing him to make a move. Mitz, usually awkward and nervous, finally finds his courage and kisses Elena. Their chemistry has been building up for episodes, and this moment feels like a natural, emotional breakthrough. On the third day, Santi keeps climbing the ranks. His fanbase explodes, literally, with girls wearing "We Love You, Santi" t-shirts in the crowd. He moves up to second place on the leaderboard, and the team can't contain their joy. Things are going well, but there's still some emotional work to do. Pryce and Amberlynn have dinner together and reminisce. Pryce opens up about the pain he carries over their son's death, admitting he's been to grief meetings and still struggles with it. Amberlynn responds with love and sorrow, telling him he was a great dad. The moment leads to a kiss and she invites him to her hotel room. But Pryce declines. It's not out of coldness. He says he's finally finding some direction and doesn't want to mess that up right now. He encourages her to keep rooting for him, and she leaves for Indiana, bittersweet but understanding. The next morning, Mitz asks Pryce why he didn't go with Amberlynn. Pryce simply says he's focusing on the tournament, showing that for once he's putting his growth and purpose first. But just when you think the episode is winding down, a bombshell drops. Gary, Santi's father, appears and approaches Pryce. He reveals he's a fan of Pryce and even saw him play at the Bell South Classic back in 2002. Gary says Pryce was better than even Tiger Woods at that time. When Elena sees Gary, she's clearly stunned. But Santi's reaction steals the moment. He runs up and hugs his father tightly, tears in his eyes. It's a raw, emotional reunion that sets up a lot of potential drama for the finale. Episode 9 of Stick delivers high-stakes golf action, emotional reunions, growing romance, and deep internal conflicts. With the tournament heating up and Santi now in the spotlight, everything's at stake, not just for him, but for Pryce, Elena, Mitz, and everyone else whose lives have been changed by this second shot at greatness.